Okay, welcome back to a new episode of What the Frick Reviews. My name is DJ.
And I'm Katie.
And today we're going to talk about The Master of Disguise. Every time I look up this movie, I always say Masters of Disguise, but it's just The Master of Disguise.
Yeah, it's Pistachio.
It's a Dana Carvey movie, who played Church Lady, was a big SNL dude in the late 80s, 90s.
In the 80s? He's that old?
Dana Carvey was on SNL from 1986 to 1993. Like I said, the late 90s and the late 80s and the early 90s.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't tell age anymore.
Yeah. Well, you just but a number. This is a post SNL, pretty like almost 10 years after SNL. I watched this movie as a kid several times. I feel like this is not as obscure as we usually go. Definitely not obscure as our first movie because everyone knows the turtle scene from this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that is just an ingrained core memory in our brains.
Yeah, and also I was telling my dad today, oh yeah, we're doing Master of Disguise, and he was like, I feel like I keep seeing that everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's become a little popular recently.
Yeah, or at least like people were like, you remember when we watched this fucking shit?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna review. This was executive produced by Adam Sandler.
Yes, Happy Madison. I saw that.
Big fan of Adam Sandler. I think I've talked about this on the podcast. I've seen every single one of his movies except for Anger Management with Jack Nicholson.
Why not?
I don't know. I think it was on around me, and I just didn't really get into it. But I know it's one of his good ones.
Then you gotta watch it, so then you could say you've watched every single one of his movies.
Yeah, but I feel like I still have like a claim to fame because I've seen his very first movie called Going Overboard, where he runs in front of the screen of the camera and says, "This isn't a low budget movie. This is a no budget movie. We only are filming this because we got access to be on a cruise ship." And then he runs onto the cruise ship, and that was the premise of the movie.
Okay, but why can you claim that?
Because nobody knows what that movie is.
Okay.
All right, whatever. I'll just cut it because I guess I'm not quirky enough for Caitlin.
No. Whoa, don't use my legal name.
Caitlin with no I.
Amen, brother. Wait. When did this movie come out again?
Movie came out in 2002.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So I was what, 5?
I was 7.
Okay, I'm not talking about you.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. You were 7? How old are you?
I was born in 96.
Yeah, I was born in 97.
So 4 plus 6. Wait, no. Yeah.
Too much math going on.
I'm not the accountant. I'm the dude that hits the button to record, okay?
And we're ready.
And then I look back, I'm like, guys, actually, I didn't hit the button.
Oh, shit. Can you do that again, but with more pizzazz? Just because I need it, not because I didn't press record.
Like, which part of the hour-long podcast? Oh, I think all of it.
I was listening, but in case I wasn't, say it all again.
Yeah. I'm getting over this fucking illness, and it wasn't COVID. I went to New York, and I came back sick, I guess. And anytime I try to like really high pitch my voice, I really high pitch my death. So
also when he gets very angry, and he was just ranting to me before this. So
yeah, I'm an angry little man,
little boy, little lad.
Yeah. Not as little as you though.
I'm not that little. I'm average height.
Yeah. Anyway,
Literally.
My God, we haven't even started talking about the fucking movie.
I know. Shut up.
So Dana Carvey led piece. It is about he plays an Italian 23-year-old named Pistachio.
Everyone give way for the Italian man.
Yep. And his last name is Disguisey, and he comes from a lineage of men who are the master of disguising, and they're environmentalists, and they stop thieves, and they're generally the good guys. Mm-hmm. And his father, played by James Brolin of Daddy Josh Brolin fame, Josh Brolin being Cable from Deadpool 2, Thanos from Endgame, the other dude from Sicario, or as Katie knows him, the older brother from The Goonies.
Mm-hmm. Which he looks nothing like how he used to. So.
Well, you know, like as actors get older, they get more plastic surgery. So,
yeah.
Except for Paul Rudd.
Really?
I don't know. Paul Rudd doesn't age, so I don't. But yeah, so like that's like the premise of the movie. He is a lineage, and then his father gets kidnapped. His mama and his papa get kidnapped.
Don't ruin the movie.
I'm giving them the setup.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like his mama and papa get kidnapped, and his grandfather appears, and then he has to learn how to be the master of disguise, and then that is basically the catalyst of the movie. That's really the first 20 minutes is just really setting that up.
Yeah, honestly. He always had oh wait, no. So should we just jump into the movie or?
Yeah, let's go for it. That was the synopsis.
Well, I wrote again. There was when this movie starts, it's another long intro.
A very long intro. It's just another long 3 minutes long.
I don't mind it because I like the song that was playing.
Yeah.
So you always get down with the song.
Yeah. And this song has like 3 original written songs.
How?
Like, the song that was playing over the open, I think is a song written for that movie because they say Master of Disguise, and then like halfway through the movie, a second song plays that is also about the Master of Disguise.
Oh, yeah.
And then at some point, I can't tell if it was either the same song from the beginning or a third originally composed song for Master of Disguise played in the movie.
Dude, why not?
I mean, like, why didn't the Stupids get some originally composed music? But yeah, long intro, but it was a cool open. It was a very interesting title sequence, except like the Stupids, we talked about how long it was because it was just like a black screen showing the people that were in the movie. Yeah,
it was like, I think it was supposed to be like the sky or something.
Yeah.
But this one, I know it was actually like the animation was cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was pretty good. And you jammed to the song.
Something else I noted when this movie started is that Mike Myers, another ex-SNL actor who also played with Dana Carvey, last year came out with another TV show about being the master of a disguise called the Pentaveret or whatever, about how he can just turn into whoever he needs to depending on the circumstance.
Oh, I never watched that show.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. I watched it was like kind of funny, but I was like, why are there so many SNL actors just being like, it's because they can do impressions.
Yeah,
they just needed a reason to have like Impressions the movie, and this is what that movie let up for.
I'm here for it.
But yeah, so the movie starts. We are introduced to who the disguises are. Mm-hmm. Bo Derek is in it for like 2 seconds. She's the female.
Mm-hmm. She's a female.
She's like a female model. She is the first disguise that we see.
Yes. Oh yeah, and I even wrote like, she's running away from the crime scene. And I was like, wait, no, she's flying. Because I guess you could fucking fly when you're disguised.
Well, no, as a famous Buzz Lightyear, it's called gliding in style.
No, it doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was elegant. I'll give her that. It was elegant.
This movie is going to be filled with early 2000s cameos.
Yeah, but also during this scene is when I realized, I saw it right underneath because I was watching it on YouTube. This movie's rated PG.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, but I assumed.
I thought that was kind of crazy.
What do you think it should be rated?
Not PG.
Like PG-13?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Nah, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
I know. Your prudish behavior. You saw a woman jog and you're like, whoa, bazonga.
Okay.
Sorry.
That was too far. That is not why.
Yeah, no. It's for sure. I get why you think it should be rated higher, but like it's early 2000s and they definitely allowed more kids to see shit that you don't really get to see now.
Yeah, and it's not really like there was a lot of foul language or inappropriate scenes. I mean, inappropriate in the sense where it's just not, I don't know the word.
Kosher?
No, not legal. No.
Not PC?
Yeah, well, I guess you could say that. It's just not appropriate.
Yeah,
I don't know, like for the time. But...
I was watching this TikTok like a couple days ago about like early That's a Raven episodes. And like Corey takes the phone from Raven when he's on the phone with Chelsea. And he's like, hey, baby, how you doing? And then she was like, hey, baby, you're going to wear those bunny slip pajamas again? And he's like, whatever turns you on. And I was like... That that was a Disney Channel show.
No wonder the old shows were way better.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, like I laughed and I was like, that was like what I watched. So like that's why like I get why you're saying how is this PG, but also a lot of the shit that we watched as kids was like always like a bit like on the line of the rating.
Yeah, it's just so funny.
So we see Bo Derek. Then it explains that they are no longer doing the disguisey and
because they almost got caught,
and he doesn't want to be in that lifestyle anymore.
Yeah,
basically.
and this other guy Bowman gets
sent to prison.
They get away, and then that guy goes to prison.
Yep.
So.
And then
he's like, Pistachio will never learn.
Yes, because I don't want to do this life anymore. I'm just going to run an Italian restaurant, which like it was like America present day. And then when they faded in, it was just a bunch of Italian people. And I'm like, Italians? Like I was like, there's no diversity. It's just Italians.
What do you want?
I don't know. Another. I don't know. And then we get an infamous line when we see Pistachio Born when he's like, "You slap me, I slap you."
Oh my god! Yeah, I wrote that. Slapped his doctor. So it's like just talking about how he always had the urge to disguise himself.
Yes, he always
kind of funny.
I always had the urge to be a master disguise.
Yeah, same.
And how he mimicked people because the Cole Sprouse twins were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the bloopers too. I don't know. Did
Yes.
you watch the bloopers?
Yeah. Because I didn't, because like in the bloopers, because you know, early 2000s comedy, they have all the bloopers during the credits. I thought that they just like, they had like a puff of smoke. I'm like, okay, so that's where they cut. And they're like, no, they just had Cole Sprouse in one outfit and Dylan Sprouse crouched underneath something ready to pop up with another outfit.
I mean, that sounds way easier than.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure the time commitments were like way different. I meant to look up when Big Daddy was filmed because since this was a Happy Madison production, the Sprouse twins were in Big Daddy, so I wonder if they got the job because of this. Because Adam Sandler's like, yeah, fuck it, give it to the twins.
No, I think they were younger in Big Daddy. I feel like they looked younger. Yeah.
Yeah. Scuba Steve.
Yeah, Skeeve. What a Skeeve. Scuba Skeeve.
So then.
And the copper sulfate. I just. Okay, so yeah. Okay, anyways, it shows the different stages of him doing that, and then to now, he's just this awkward dude that like does puts underwear on his head
and
you know,
shaving
casual.
cream. Yeah, you know, a 23-year-old that lived with his parents.
Is he supposed to be 23 in this movie?
Yeah, and I only keep bringing that up because when he has his first kiss later on in the movie, he was like 23 years it took or some shit like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, my first kiss.
No. It's not even. Yeah. Oh,
she
yeah.
Like kisses him and he's talking and then he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like afterward.
Yeah.
It's funny. But then, when it pans to him and stuff, I realize that the restaurant is their home as well.
Yes, they live above their restaurant or some shit like that.
And they have a dog too. That doesn't sound sanitary.
Yeah.
What is with all these movies and the unsanitary cooking situations?
Well, you've never cooked in your house with cats?
That is, I'm not a restaurant.
Okay, well, you were super cool with the World of Tao and how he was able to kickflip all that food.
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
That's what I was saying. I even said that's not sanitary. He was kicking flour and stuff with his toes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. The cuteness was cute.
The cuteness is cute.
And then we realize that Pistachio runs down because a woman is waiting for him, and then he was like, I'm gonna find a woman just like Mama, and then and what that means is that they have to have a huge ass.
Of course.
No, that's fucking weird. It is not weird. It's not. Now, I'm not saying it's weird to want to have a woman with a huge ass. It's weird to say I need to have a woman with a huge ass, just like my mother's ass.
He didn't say that. He said
it so many times.
No, he said just like Mama, and then he was like, when she was walking away, like, I wonder why, and then his dad shows up and he's like, oh yeah, she'll be a great cook. That's why, TJ. She's gonna be a great cook.
Yeah, no, that's a PG censoring. We knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, she had a big butt.
Yeah, and Pistachio was like, I need to date a woman with a large ass, just like my mom's large ass. You're like, okay, Pistachio, stop. That's your mama. And then we're introduced to his his quote unquote love interest, which is
no. He runs into Barney Baker. This little kid.
This happens after that.
No.
It definitely does.
What love interest?
Fran. Or the wizard.
We already talked about her though. Okay, keep talking about her then.
I just wanted to bring up that like the first woman is the Wizard of Waverly Place mom. She's in the movie. I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay. Does she wear the same outfit throughout the whole movie?
I don't think so. I think it's like definitely the same style outfit.
Yeah, it's definitely the same style. I was just wondering if the blue.
Yes, I think it's a lot of blue though.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yes.
And then we're introduced to Barney Baker.
Baker. Yes, he's on a skateboard. He falls over, and then stop looking at my notes. And then and then to make him feel better, this
is the first reason why Katie likes this movie.
Yes, he does an impression of Shrek and Donkey.
Yeah. So well, in fact, that I almost wondered if they like ADR'd it, because I was like, that's what's like on point.
Yeah.
Like impression. And then the kid was like, that ain't funny.
Not amused at all.
And then Katie was like, boo. Boo. And then
punch him.
And then I really related to Pistachio in this moment, because he was like, oh, you like my dog? You should get your dad to get you a dog. He's like, I don't have a dad. And then like Pistachio's like, ay, ay, ay.
No, I would have been like, okay, you didn't need to say that. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Like I would.
I would have been like, here, take my dog. Sorry.
I'd just be like, I don't know how to. This is why I don't talk to kids. I'm sorry.
I do like the.
Well, you can just kind of hang out with my dog as much as you want. You fucking kid.
And then he just skates away, and then
we cut to him as a waiter.
Yeah, and he has a billion plates on him, and then there's this new waiter Rex that's like, you need a tray. You're gonna blah blah blah, and he's like, You're a newbie, blah, blah, blah. And then Rex trips him, and then he spills spaghetti all over these people. Mm-hmm. But my favorite part, which I didn't even realize until I rewatched it this year, was he spills spaghetti all over these people, but somehow the spaghetti's under the guy's glasses.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And then he goes and he's like, oh, sorry. And he's like wiping his glasses to get the sauce off. But I'm like, how are the glasses on top of the spaghetti?
Well, I mean, like maybe the glasses were like this.
No, it was like hair, bro. It was
yeah.
It was just so funny. It made me laugh.
And then he starts getting really stressed out.
Putting cheese on them.
Yeah, he's like, I just get a little bit of cheese. Basically, what
Dude,
Katie...
he's me.
I'm glad that you finally caught up with that. Basically, what Katie and I realized as children, we realized half of our identity was defined by this movie, and why we mimic people both is because Pistachio just ends up mimicking people. And like I know I don't remember much about this movie, but I constantly quote see, this is what you're doing, and this is what I want you to do.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize how much that, like...
It imprinted.
Yeah, because I definitely do focus on the way people say things, and that's why lines from movies get stuck in my head, is because it's the way they say it, not necessarily, like, what they're saying. Because the line from Back to the Future 2 that always gets stuck in my head is, like, I'm walking here, which... I know it's from something else, but the way he says it is the way I like it.
Yeah, and the really New York shit.
I guess so,
yeah.
But
I'm walking here.
Yeah, I just really liked it, and it's always stuck in my head, and so it's the way people say things, and it's from this movie, I realized. So, yeah. Do
you want to know the movie fact behind that quote?
Tell the audience.
Yeah, so fun fact, that's a Dustin Hoffman quote. I don't remember the movie, sadly, but basically they were filming in New York, and Dustin Hoffman and some other dude were walking past a crosswalk, and it was supposed to be completely like blocked off from traffic, and a taxi blew through the barriers and almost hit Dustin Hoffman. So he slaps the top of the fucking car and says, "Hey, I'm walking." Like, that was all improv. Like, Dustin Hoffman was about to actually get hit by a car, and that was his genuine reaction to that moment. I thought that was I just thought that made the quote a lot cooler.
Yeah. And I had no idea that even existed.
Yeah, so, I don't remember the movie. Maybe it's Wall Street. That doesn't sound right.
No, yeah,
you're right. That isn't the movie. So let's fast forward a little bit, because it's just Pistachio being an awkward tween. His dad, his papa and mama get kidnapped by David Bowman, who's just been released from prison.
Wait, can I at least say one of my favorite lines? Yes. Well, it's when he's telling him that you have to work on your mocking or whatever, and he tells his dad, but Papa don't preach. I'm in trouble deep, and I'm keeping my baby.
I
love that part.
I don't even get that.
I don't think you need to get it. I don't like. That's not why I like it.
Yeah, I did.
Because his dad was like, "What?"
And he was like, "What?"
He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
That's me. Like, I'll say things, and then people will be like, "What?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I literally. Okay, so I'll tell this story right now because you were shocked that I did this, but okay. So recently gotten broken up with. It's a difficult story, but anyways, with my boyfriend.
The recent or this a different guy?
Recent, yeah.
No, you broke up with him.
Okay, I broke up with him, and then he broke up with me, because then it was like,
whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then
you want the people to know that you broke up with him. You need to be a boss babe on this.
I don't care.
Okay, anyway.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling the truth. But anyways, so I was anxious about like walking into him or his friends. And I was literally a mess for a few days. I was just scared of being alone. It wasn't even like him. It was just scared of being alone because I knew I wanted to leave. But I was just like, oh, shit, I did it. But so I walk into the elevator and his friend happens to walk into the elevator at the same time
because they live in the same building.
Fuck yeah. And he's like a nice guy, but I know that this was the one guy that he was confiding in with everything. And so this bitch, I don't even know why he asked me, he's like, how are you doing? And I'm like, why do you care? But no, I literally out loud said, oh, I'm doing terrible. And he said, what? And I was like, oh no, I'm doing fine. How are you? I literally he seemed so confused when I said, oh, I'm doing terrible. And then I was like, I'm not going to repeat that. So I was like, I'm doing fine. And he's like, oh, cool. What kind of shoes are those? I'm like, bitch, you don't care about my shoes. But he's really nice to my face.
So if you're watching, dude,
he's not going to watch. My ex-boyfriend didn't even watch, so... he ain't watching, but no, he was nice. It was just like, why are you gonna ask me this? We all know I'm doing terrible. You can see my eyes are puffy. Like
that story always reminds me of the hot rod scene. It's like, you look pretty, Diane. What? You look shitty. Good night.
That was literally me.
Yeah. But no, and then Papa Mama gets kidnapped, and then he's like running around. He's like, Rensackery. He's like, no mama, no papa, only Rensackery. And then he calls the cops, and then he's like, no mama. He's like, Mama Cannoli here. Talk to Cannoli. He's like, never call this number ever again.
I just like full of Rensackery.
Yeah. And then the grandfather appears doing a solid Exorcist reference. I don't know if you caught that.
I was thinking more Goosebumps.
Yeah, no, that's because it's an Exorcist. Okay, whatever.
Okay, cool.
So then, and then he tells the grandfather what's going on. The grandfather's like, did you ask Jeeves? Which I thought was really funny. I was like, haha, that's a timepiece.
What did he say?
He was like, did you ask Jeeves? It's a website called AskJeeves.com. It was like a Yahoo forum kind of website.
I thought he said, did you get the Jeeves?
Oh, no. It's Ask Jeeves is like a website. Like, I don't know how it worked, but you could ask it a question and it would just give you an answer.
Google.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it was like Google, like it was around that time that Google wasn't really a thing yet.
Oh, so it was kind of like that little game 20 questions where it would guess what you were thinking, and we were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, my favorite part was he was like, you're my father, your son. Holy cannoli, you are my sister.
And he was like, I'm your grandfather. He was like, that was going to be my second guess.
Yeah, fucking mood.
Like...
Me at work.
Yeah, that's
like
us at work.
Literally giving the complete wrong answer, and then was like, no, this is it. And I'm like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Exactly what I thought.
Maybe don't say your boss's name.
And then, yeah.
So the grandfather is like, yeah, he gives the whole history montage of the family. And then he's like, but now because your mama, papa are gone, you need to now become a master of disguise. So I'm going to give you the book of the master of disguise. And then I love this. And he's like, ooh, it's a pop-up.
Oh, yeah, I love that part.
Fucking mood. Every time I'm at a store and I get a book, I'm like, oh my fucking God, it's a pop-up. Yeah. I'm so excited.
The way he said it, though, it's a pop-up.
Yeah. And then he's like, okay, read what it says. And then he reads the thing from, it's like a farmer scene. He was like, if a mama papa ever been kidnapped and the guy never knew, then he has to blah, 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 blah. And the grandfather can't have. He's like, that's one specific farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So I like...
Which it keeps up throughout the whole movie.
Yes, it does.
Which is great.
It is. And like that's like the one thing I do really like about this movie is because I really relate to those side comments from Pistachio because I think you and I both do those a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe that's where it was birthed from.
Yeah, I really do think this movie shaped me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize it until rewatching. I'm like, oh my God, I do all of this.
And then we're introduced to the nest, which is their hiding area. And anytime I see a Rube, you know what a Rube Goldberg machine is.
The nest is in the attic.
It's in the attic,
because the grandpa was like somewhere dark and secretive, and then so they go to the attic, and that's the nest where he's gonna do his training.
Yes, and then he unlocks it, and then a Rube Goldberg machine happens. Do you know what that is? Mm. It's like one of those things where like you set it off, and then like a ball is rolling down, and
the Pee-wee.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not Rube Goldberg. It's Pee-wee.
Okay. Every time I see that, I'm like, so like who the fuck resets that? Because it opened the door, meaning his dad had to be like, all right, I gotta reset this switch, and then this switch has to go.
And he's always going into the attic too.
Yeah. So it's like you reset that every time. He's like, no, actually there's a door. I just do that for like fucking theatrics. But yeah, so we're introduced to the nest. We're about 20 minutes in. Now we go through a montage of him training. A training montage of him like trying out different outfits and different looks and stuff.
And then one of the first things he did was trying to eat an apple with fake teeth. Very important, very essential, I guess.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And
well, you gotta like... Well,
then they put the fat suit on.
Yes, of course, because you always have to make a fat joke in the early 2000s.
Yes, and then he pulls it, and it just keeps blowing up, and he's on the ceiling. That one's pretty funny, though.
I did, because I did like that.
You did laugh.
I did like, because like my favorite part is when the grandfather's walking away, and he's like, eh, and then it hits him in the back. Yeah, and then...
But then, in the middle of this montage, it cuts to... the mom and the dad. So they're kidnapped, and the mom is cooking, and she's eating...
They're kidnapped by Bozeman. Did I say that already?
Is it Bowman?
Bowman. It's Bowman.
The guy that got arrested in the beginning. He came after 20 years. He was released from prison. But so he kidnapped them because... Well, he kidnapped the mom, and she's eating...
Caramel corn.
And... I don't know.
No. I thought you were correcting me.
I don't know.
It is fine. We can pronounce that word.
Did you see the look that he gave me, though?
I thought you were correcting me.
No, that's just how I say it. Caramel. Caramel. Okay. Anyways, caramel. And it's like, I want to say hypnotizing, but it's like...
Yeah, it's something like that.
It's kind of like subduing her where she doesn't realize what she's doing. So she's just fucking cooking for days.
She just thinks that she's cooking the entire time, which was like #sexism.
Yeah.
But also, like, she sees like her stove blow up like with a bunch of fire, and she's like, I gotta cut faster. I'm like, you wouldn't be like, I gotta get a fire extinguisher. She just like, shit, I gotta cut faster.
It's the caramel corn, bro. It's like, it's bad. But then the dad, Bowman, says that he's gonna help him retrieve the world's greatest treasures through his disguising ways.
Yeah, his disguising ways. And then he laughs so much that he makes himself toot.
He's like,
second reason why Katie likes this movie.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, it's like, okay.
It's overdone.
It's overdone, in my opinion. But there is one part where he stops. He's like, ha, 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 ha. And then he farts. And I was like, okay, that one was good.
It came back. It comes back. It's like one of those
jokes.
They
redeemed themselves.
It's one of those jokes that happens so many times that you hate it. And then like one final time it happens and it wins itself back.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, it was worth it.
And then after that... We will quickly go over this scene.
We find out that it's Energico. Energico is what helps them disguise.
Oh, okay.
Energico. Become another person.
Become another person. Become another person, yeah.
So, it's Energico. Yeah, and there's a dark side.
There is a dark side, yeah. Basically, it's the 2000s. It doesn't excuse it. He does brown face. But when I rewatched it today, because we were preparing for this, I realized that the movie did kind of like ease it, where he was like, stop doing a stereotypical accent. You need to actually become who you want to be, because it doesn't count. I was like, okay, at least like they're kind of saying like we're doing this wrong. But either way, don't ever do like brown or blackface in any movie, and it never excuses it.
Yeah. So it's when he's...
And that's all we're going to talk about that scene. It doesn't excuse it, and it was awful. and we're done with it.
Okay. So, and after he becomes a racist.
Yes. He is now the master of disguise.
He is now officially the master of disguise. Yeah. But the next thing he does is learn to slap with the slapping dummy.
Yes. Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
He's like, it demoralizes them better.
Yeah, and I'm like, true.
And then right after that, then they do a better version because they have an Olympic runner that comes down the stairs and they're like, here's the Constitution. And he's like, thanks. And then he runs away. I was like, why couldn't they just cast a different dude for that scene? Whatever.
What are you talking about?
It was like we do the slap machine and then we see the first thing getting stolen, or like another thing.
The first rare item that's stolen
is the
Constitution by the fastest man alive at that time.
Yes,
Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they pass it off like an Olympic torch, and he's like, "Thanks, guys."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your issue with that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, they didn't put James Brolin in blackface; they just cast a different actor to play him.
Well, yeah, but Pistachio is still
in training.
He's level 1.
Yeah.
There's 7,000 levels.
Yeah, guys. You're right. All right.
One.
Yeah. I will take a pause where say the set design of this movie is very impressive. The nest looks very like cool. I'm digging all the props. The props are very well done in this movie. I think the stained glass that's in the certain part of the restaurant, I feel like it was an homage to his character, the church lady from SNL. I just thought that was interesting. It might not be. I didn't look it up. I just said, that kind of looks like the SNL thing. Anyway.
Possibly.
Yeah. So, yeah, and now
he's level 1.
He's level 1 and he needs an assistant, and we're introduced to Barry Baker's mother.
Barney Baker's
mother, Jennifer. And then it's super sexist.
Yeah, I mean, they asked for her measurements, and she's like, why? It's like, for your uniform. And then she says her measurements, and then they are making fun of the size of her butt.
Yeah, they're like, little baby Madame Jennifer.
Yeah, and then she's like, I need money. Because he's like, you get paid. What about in respect and blah, blah, blah.
And she's like, actually, I need cash.
That's me at work.
Yeah.
I'm giving you an extra task. Actually, I need a raise.
Yeah. Well, but right before that, it has one of my favorite lines is when she's like, you guys are talking really fast. I'm confused. And she was like, she was like, what's a master of disguise? And the grandfather was like, are you confused about master or disguise? And Pistachio was like, or the word of. And I was like, fucking yes.
This is definitely where we got our humor,
yes,
for
absolutely,
sure.
100%. Yeah.
And then I also loved, and then she's like, okay, deal, whatever. And then he was like, I gotta warn you, like, usually you fall in love with your master, the assistant falls in love. And then he's like, can you resist him? And Pistachio's like, can you resist me?
And she's like,
I think I'm good.
Yeah. And then the grandfather leaves because he's supposed to do this all alone. And then she's like, we should go look in the trash to find out where our first clue. And then this is another line that I think everyone knows.
Wait.
Go on.
Before the grandpa leaves, he says an important note. You got to know the who, the why, the where, and the how.
The who, the why, the
where, how.
Who?
Because that's like how they slowly figuring it out is like each one. So,
and by they, Jennifer does all the work. But yeah.
And then Pistachio takes the credit. He's like, remember when you said this? She's like, I just fucking said that.
And he's like, that's, and then he leaves, and then they say another iconic line from the movie. That's so crazy. It just might work. And then they're looking in the trash. They're going to where their dad was kidnapped, or his dad. When
not
Papa,
there.
You call him Papa. You're just like Papa.
Where was that?
That's the Stranger Things quote. That was a TikTok sound. Like, you're like Papa.
I never watched Stranger Things.
Oh, but it was a TikTok sound for a while.
Yeah, I don't go on TikTok.
Yeah, well.
Wes sends me like videos every day. Shout out to Wes, our commenter. He always comments on TikTok.
The only commenter on TikTok.
We love you.
He gave me shit because he was like, you didn't even like it.
Anyways, so they're looking where their dad, his Papa was taken, and she finds a cigar, and she's like, "This looks like from the Turtle Club. I used to date a guy,
a dude from the Turtle Club."
Yeah, and he's like,
dipshit.
And he was like, okay, stop playing around in the trash. We're trying to find my papa. And then he grabs it, and then he's looking at it, and he's like, do you remember when you just said you dated that guy? And she's like, yeah. And so then they end up going to the Turtle Club, and this is the famous scene that's all over TikTok. He dresses up as
the Turtle Club, and she just asks, she was like, he's just like my special friend.
Yeah, he's just been dreaming of this forever. Like, can we just go in for a second?
Turtle. And then he's like, and then they ask him questions, and then he was like, I can't just give you all this. He's like, what if terrible harm came to you?
No, they go in the back.
What do we need to go through?
Because you said who are you talking about? They go to the back to the guy who makes the cigars.
Oh, yeah.
And then the guy, the cigars, like, this is the Bowman guy.
Yeah,
and he's like, can you give us his address? And he's like, I can't do that. And he's like, and then I wrote that down too. What if harm found its way to you?
What if terrible harm found its way to you?
The kind of harm that makes you cry out in the night like a little baby. And it's like, but in his turtle voice.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because it's just so aggressive, but. So yeah, but then the next scene, which is like a popular one, where he bites the guy's nose
off, clean off. Weird.
I'm so confused.
Yeah,
like, in what universe is that supposed to be like
funny,
but also plausible?
Yeah,
it's not like
because it was a clean cut. Like like there wasn't holes or anything. That was a PG. The PG-13, you saw the hole. The PG version, they censored it.
But then he spit it back onto his face. Like, what was the point?
Yeah, well, they sent a message.
He sent a message.
It's not about the money. It's about the message. Do you get that? Do you know that quote?
The Joker?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I mean, you did the voice, so I kind of had a...
Yeah. Hey, that means I did it good.
Yeah. And then, and so then we see rare item number 46 stolen is the Liberty Bell by Jesse Ventura.
Dude. Yeah, you know this dude.
He had a conspiracy theory show. Me and my dad were watching it all the time.
He was the mayor of California?
Governor,
thank you.
Yes, he was the governor of California. I'm from California, so I know that. And, anyways, so yeah, he had a conspiracy theory show, and my grandpa and my dad were like, he's telling the truth. No one wants to say this. I'm Jesse Ventura, and I'm here to expose...
What is this, post or during his governor?
I want to say post.
Okay, we'll say post.
Yeah, I want to say post.
And then... So he leaves. We find out that Jennifer has a dick boyfriend. Doesn't matter. Generic comedy 2000 shit. Then they use an old website like Facebook called classmates.com to find out who David Bozeman is. It has all the info they need. So then they go to an antique roadshow.
They know the who, the Bowman guy.
Now they know the why.
No, they know the why. Because on his yearbook profile, he had said, I want to collect all the rare things in the world. And so
for the
it's
black market.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so now we know the why. Now we need to know the where. So they got to find him. And then so she says that there's an antique fair.
It's the antique roadshow, but legally not the antique roadshow.
And so they go to it the next day. But also while they're going through all this, I just thought it was funny because the dummy was beating up Pistachio and pulling his pants down.
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? and then he dresses up as Granny Num Num, and it was funny and creepy. But I did like this character. He was like, I'm not going with you anywhere. He was like, he was like, I can be your Malcolm in your. I can be the Malcolm in your middle. He was like touching me, pushing me.
I really liked that character too.
It's creepy because he's like creeping on Jennifer, but Dana Carvey like is very funny in that scene. So I did like that.
Yeah, and so Bowman guy kind of like invites her to a party.
Yep.
And then they're at the park, and Jennifer and Pistachio are at the park hanging out with the cuteness and the
Barney.
boy Barney, and
she's like, I don't want to date
him. And then they open the book, and it's like right here.
Yeah,
you have the book
Page
says
52.
The book says you have to date weird old guys.
And she's like, I don't give a fuck about your book.
She's like, that's weird.
Yeah. So then they go to the party. He dresses up as Scarface. Yeah.
Oh, that's just this hairy guy.
But then she's like, I got to go to the bathroom. And while she's running around, she's
trying to sneak clues.
Yeah, she's doing her job. He's fucking her. Well, no, I guess his job was to be a distraction.
Yeah, which he was good at.
Yeah, sure.
My favorite, well, he was like, the guy had snacks on a platter. And he was like,
esophagus.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was. He's like, a chicken saute. He's like, so I can get this stuck in my esophagus.
Oh, esophagus.
And he's like, tell me this. Do you have a tiny wiener and some little nuts?
Yeah, he's like, I want a short wiener and some tiny nuts.
And he's like, what?
Yeah, and then one of my favorite scenes is that when she's trying to find some evidence, two of the security guards will walk past, and they're just talking about Scooby-Doo casually. They're like, no, man, the dog wasn't really there. It was CG the whole time.
And he's like, but it looks so real.
Yeah, and then that actually, like, we have been going through a lot of shit, so that's why we haven't been doing this, but I watched Master of Disguise a couple weeks ago, and, like, that got stuck in my head that I watched Scooby-Doo over past this weekend. Fucking banger of a movie.
The live action?
Yeah,
one? I watched that one over and over again as a kid.
Like, it's so good that I could rewatch it again now. Like, it's just the perfect movie. It's so well done. And, like, I don't know. Sorry, that's a side tangent. I really want to watch Scooby-Doo 2 as well. Fun fact, that was written by James Gunn.
Who's that?
He made Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So
she finds some pictures, and now they find out I think that's like she finds out the pictures, so they figure out what they're doing with his dad because they figure out that he's turning into other people to steal shit.
No. Okay, so she finds the pictures. They figured that out later when they're able to talk about it because Pistachio doesn't know about it yet. Pistachio's on stage dancing, making a fool of himself.
Stupid.
And then so Bowman is like, he finds her roaming around in the house, and so he brings her outside. And then he's like, he's ruining my party. Like, go get him. So the goons chase after him. Yeah. And so he's running away, and then he's pretending to be this guy in the water.
Reference.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
and he's talking,
which I did like this scene. I like this scene a lot.
Yeah, he's talking about like 99 kids go in the water.
29 kids go in, 22 kids comes out.
Yeah, and he's like, I lost my arm or something, and then you're like, let's see your arm, and he's like, it's right here, and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's like, stop becoming another person, stop becoming another person.
Yeah, he's rowing back.
He's like, I run away from the big blue henchies.
Yeah, and then so he's running away, and then he turns himself into a cow pie, and they step on him.
Yep. And then a second original song starts playing because he starts running away, and somehow he's
the master of disguise.
He somehow runs from,
and you could never recognize.
Somehow he runs from Bowman's house all the way home.
You know what? I didn't think of that.
All I thought about it was like he ran in
How
that
close were they?
Not close. Like in the costume too. Like he didn't change, so
he had the thing on and everything.
Yeah. And then
and Jennifer's still at the house.
So he has to go back. He plays a shitty German character. Hated that character. Katie loved him.
I didn't love him. I was just like, is there real people like this in the world?
No, he's just making a stereotype.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and then he's like, shit, this isn't working. I gotta turn into a British dude. And that one's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. He's like, get it, got it, doubt it.
Yeah, and then he once again he's like, you see what you're doing? This is what I want you to do.
Yeah, and then so he saves her. He's able to take her, and then they're at the bar, and that's when she shows him the pictures.
Yep.
And that's when they're like, okay, so they're making him disguise so that he could get all these things.
And now this is when we're gonna wrap up the extra love interests. The Jennifer's boyfriend is now having dinner with the not love interest of Pistachio.
Mm-hmm. Big booty.
Yeah, Sophia, I think her name.
Yeah, her name was
Wizard
Sophia.
of Waverly Place mom. Mm-hmm. And then he beats up Trent. And then she was like, oh, you're so sexy now, Pistachio.
Oh my God, Pistachio. So she's like, oh my God.
And then he's like, no, I don't need you anymore. And then Rex shows up. And then so like now Pistachio is
like a cool guy.
Is an alpha now.
Yeah, he's an alpha male.
And then we cut to we're stealing the final item, which is the lunar fucking landing
Apollo
thing.
lunar module.
And Jessica Simpson makes an appearance.
Yeah, and this was also funny because he was like, oh, thanks for your tickets. So was she on tour?
Yeah,
for this
yeah.
And so this was like her promoting her tour.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if she... Probably. I'm sure she was touring around that time.
That'd be cool.
I didn't think that they could get Jessica Simpson, so I thought it was her sister Ashley Simpson until the movie was like, it's Jessica Simpson, and I was like, oh, good for them.
Yeah. I mean, they got quite a few people.
They did get quite a few people. I mean, I think that's like definitely like that SNL stardom. It's like, yeah, I'd fucking be in a Dana Carvey movie.
Yeah. So
for them, it got 1% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Who did?
Master of Disguise.
A what?
1%.
How?
It's awful.
No, it's...
Oh, I'm sorry. Spoilers.
It shaped us.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
I could have been a rocket
scientist. I am
scientist.
alone in 26 now.
Well, I'm married in 26.
Okay, well, good for you. Fuck you. Anyways, so then after he beats up and everyone loves him, Jennifer's starting to love him too.
Which he was like tiny baby butter bottom, and I'm like, how is this working? He's like, future mother of my children, and she's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, wait. So this is the same guy who's like, oh, Lumpy, that's so cute.
Oh
no, it's not.
So okay, on record,
fucking beat you and you have a lump. Oh my god, Lumpy.
Okay, so on record, I think it's cute when there's a cute nickname, but Katie will hear a guy saying "future mother, my child," and she's like, "That's hot. That's hot."
Did not say that.
But you did say it was better.
I was not agreeing with you, but I wasn't disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how anything she saw in Pistachio up to this point, she was like, yeah, no, I get it. He's fuckable. I'm like, he's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
The entire time.
And then they kiss, which is very awkward.
She kissed his teeth, basically.
Because he was talking, and then, so, like, he was talking, and he was like, oh, and she kissed him, and then he was like, oh, my first kiss. That's how it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he walks away, and then Jennifer gets kidnapped, and somehow he doesn't notice at all because he walks away and the car passes him.
Yeah.
The same direction, but whatever. And then he has to like, and then Barney's like, Pistachio.
No.
Oh no. He goes on the roof and he
goes on the roof and he does the ball. What is it?
He does the ball. He's like, I need
He
help.
talks to his grandpa.
His grandpapa.
He's like, what do? I have nothing to do. And then the little kid comes up.
And then he's like,
it's a talking baby.
He's like, this is a pre-recorded hologram. And then the grandfather looks at Barney, and then I wrote so much for a pre-recorded hologram.
Yeah, I mean, he knew that was gonna happen. I guess.
Yeah, and then knew everything that was gonna say up until that exact moment.
Yeah, I really like the grandpa. He's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, Barney Baker. He's like, they leave the cigar and
yeah, he's like, this is my mom's gone. Here's this cigar, and then he's like, oh, she got kidnapped,
and then I guess Barney Baker whispers in his ear, you should dress up as a man covered in cherries and then get delivered as a huge ass cherry pie. Nobody's gonna suspect a huge ass cherry pie.
And did they?
I mean,
no, they didn't, because he got through, baby.
Some would say it was just crazy.
It just might work. And it did for like a second.
Yeah. But I mean, it 100% did. He got in.
Yeah, he did. And so he's at the...
We're back at Bowman's. Bowman is showing off all his wares to the Black Mark eBay. Because it's not Black Market eBay, I realized. It's Black Mark eBay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're being live streamed, but he's like walking this guy around telling him like, here are my things. And he's like,
how did you get them?
We're not allowed to ask, but how did you get them? And then he shows him the master Papa. And then he says,
I'm going to turn him into me.
He does a big plan.
I'm going to make James Brolin into me and then drive him off a cliff and blow him up.
So I kill him and also I fake my death.
Yeah, and then
win.
And then he was like, perfect crime, right? I'm like, but what about the dental records? The dental records.
They can't find him if he's off a cliff. Into the water.
No, he was going to blow him up off the cliff. The only thing that survives a fire is teeth.
The teeth will survive?
Yeah. That's usually how they can figure out who dies. Is like the teeth are usually the last thing that survives.
Well,
is that the perfect crime, Bozeman? Maybe I watched too much true crime.
Yeah, I'm scared. Anyways, so he's showing them whatever, and then
and then the chef's like, "Do you want your cherry pie now?" He's like, "No, later." And then that's when Pistachio reveals himself, and then he starts shooting little cherry.
Well, because they start chasing him, the little goons. There's more goons, and then he starts shooting cherries out of his mouth.
And then I was like, that's not even a fucking disguise. You're just hiding in something.
But did it work?
So, and then also I did think, I'm like, this, like, once again, like going, like, I actually really like how it's PG. This is another way how I think it's PG. This would have been the gun scene in an action film, but they just went with him shooting cherries out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So I did think that was a good creative way to make it cool. And then it's revealed that Jennifer is chained to something and has to be the auctioneer to getting stuff. And then you find out Germans are watching the live stream. Kenan Thompson is watching the live stream.
And he's like, oh, look at this little guy.
Yeah. and then Mongolians, I think, are watching the live stream.
Yeah, that was very random.
Yeah. And then he finds and then another dude comes up to the goons, and then Bozeman's like, hey man, your wife called, everything's cool. He's like, oh, thanks for knowing. And he's like, I fucking know it was you because you're not married.
He's like, you're not married. And he pulls the mask off, and he's like, how'd you know it was me? He had cherry shoes on.
And then he runs up, releases Jennifer from her chains. Jennifer trips and hits the camera. And then the camera is now facing all the action, so everyone watching the live stream can see everything. A bunch of ninjas came out and are fighting. 3 out of 3 right there, folks. We have Shrek, we have fart jokes, and we have ninjas. This is a top tier movie to Katie. Amen, brother. Anyways, and then so the ninjas, and so he's fighting them, and he's flying too. I guess when you're like in a disguisey, you can fly. I don't know. Oh yeah, all that. He's training, like doing all that flip. And this is when I think a third original song starts playing, but I can't tell if this is just another portion of the original song. But he like kind of slaps him around a little bit, and the ninjas give up immediately. They're like, no, we don't want to be slapped anymore. Yeah, slap silly or something like that. Yeah, and they ran away, and then they pan to the mom, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna hurt her then. And then there's like hands coming out of the flower. Yeah, and then she like picks the guy up and knocks him with her head, and then she's like, no more caramel corn for me. And then the Mongolians like, oh, and I'm like, what were they doing? Yeah, they don't understand the context of that. Yeah, they didn't even know what about the caramel corn. They're just like, yeah, fucking caramel corn. So then Bowman is like, well, I don't give a shit anymore. I still have the Constitution. And then he runs away farting the entire time. And yeah. And then a couple more times. Yeah, and a couple more times. And then he was like, and then the dad is like being completely turned into Bowman, completely brainwashed. And so Pistachio and Papa now fight on top of the lunar thing because the Apollo lunar module. And then he's like, Papa, remember when I put underwear on top of my head? He's just trying to say things to bring his dad back. Yeah. So he's like, remember when I used to do that as a kid? I was like, also when you did it like 2 days ago? Yeah. And then that reminds... And so he pulls his underwear out of his bare ass and then puts it on his head. No streaks, though. That's true, but big ass whitey tighties. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. No streaks, though. Yeah, no streaks is a big deal. Like, wouldn't you prefer to have whitey tighties on a man, but they're clean? Oh, yeah, that's like the ultimate test, though. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, I can't. Now I'm just like picturing like you're about, like, not you specifically, but like any woman's like about to like get it on with the guy, perfect date, he's killing it, and then he pants right. She's like, are those fucking whitey tighties? That's true. I thought you were gonna say that has to be a deal breaker. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like because you, like, not necessarily a deal breaker, but I feel like you laugh at it. I would laugh a little bit. Yeah. Well, it depends the stage I'm at. Yeah. Fair. But fair. Like, okay, I thought you were gonna say if you see streaks, but I'm like, I don't even look at their underwear like that. Yeah. Like the streaks are harder, like because you would have to like have them turn around and all that. Like that's more. It'd be like turn around. Yeah. But before we do anything, turn around. Counter if he pulls down his pants and you can see streaks just in the front. That's a deal breaker. That's concerning. Yeah. I don't know. Like whitey tighties are so old that I don't feel like maybe it isn't a deal breaker, but I do feel like you'd see them and be like, that's fucking funny. Well, it depends. Okay. Also, it depends. So this is great, but if it's like they're wearing whitey tighties and they're too big, oh my God, that'd be worse. Like they're baggy on him.
Yeah, that'd be worse than just regular whitey tighties, in my opinion.
Like,
because they look like a diaper. Like if he was wearing, I don't think I've ever seen a guy wear whitey tighties, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Just let us know down in the comments. Are whitey tighties a no-go, or as long as it depends on how hot the dude is?
Green light. Yeah. I mean, it also depends on how hot the dude is.
Yeah, that's true.
But if they're baggy and he's hot, that's kind of like I'll have to enter conflict
because I'll
have to see what his next move is.
Yeah. It's also like, were you only going in there to like not see him the next morning, or were you like hoping for something?
I don't know. You still got to be selective, even if it's a one-time go.
Because if he has baggy whitey tighties, you're like, what other things in his life?
Maybe he lost weight.
Yeah, but you can't buy. What the fuck am I saying? I've been. This is gonna. Everyone on this pod like that listens to the podcast knows at this point that I'm a cheap bastard. I've been wearing the same undershirt since like high school.
You bitch.
Yeah.
How old are you again?
26.
Okay.
He puts the whitey tighties on his head, no streaks, and then he's like, pistachio. And then
and then he starts smacking himself and he's going back to normal.
Yep, and then everything's good, but they're like, oh fuck, we gotta go find Bowman. Mm-hmm. So they go to Costa Rica where Bowman is.
I don't know how they found him.
Who knows?
Maybe he yelled, I'm going to Costa Rica.
Yeah, maybe.
He's dumb enough, so.
Yeah, and then they find Bowman, who's just casually lounging with the Declaration of Independence in a little tote bag.
The Constitution,
thank you.
I had to go deep into my history.
Yeah. It is different.
I did my history over summer school, so I know nothing.
And then Dana Carvey comes out and does a pretty amazing W. Bush impression. Mm-hmm. And then one thing I couldn't get over, why the fuck does Bowman want the Constitution so badly? He's not Nick Cage.
Wouldn't you want it?
No.
You don't want the Constitution?
Fuck no.
Why not?
Because that thing is so fragile.
You just put it in a frame. Didn't you watch National Treasure? They put lemon on it. It's not that fragile.
You're right. I can't really argue with that.
Very acidic.
You know what? I only want the Constitution just so Nick Cage can come over.
Would he though?
No, probably not. I mean, they are making They are making a new National Treasure movie. Yeah. Because the TV show's out right now.
There's a TV show?
Yeah.
There's too much.
Yeah, Disney Plus currently has a Disney Plus show about a different woman, and it's about her going through that shit. It was Nick Cage, another dude, and then the love interest.
Yeah.
The other dude is in it.
Oh, he is in it?
Yes.
I really liked him.
Yeah, and he's it was kind of weird because I was a young dude in those movies, and now I'm their mentor in the TV show. But Disney was we're gonna make that show, but we're also making a third movie with Nick Cage.
Okay.
So they were we're going to do both.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But all right, I'll watch it. You know me. But anyways, he tricks him and he takes a picture with Bowman.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, it's an honor." And he's like, "Yeah, say who's your daddy?" And he's like, "What?"
It's you.
It's you. And then he calls his goons, but then the goons are the dads, the papas.
The papas.
The papas.
And then they push Bowman in and they're like,
well, they grab the Constitution first.
Yes. And then they push Bowman into the pool that they're by, and they're like, "Is he okay?" And then he just fucking rips ass.
He rips ass, bro. It's pretty impressive.
What? Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit like a little geyser fountain. And then everyone's like, "Yeah."
He was holding on to that one.
He made a stinky.
Yeah.
And then it goes to credits, and then the credits are full of different outfits and things that got cut. Apparently Paula Abdul was the choreographer.
Really?
Yeah, I was because you were don't skip the credits. There's a lot of good shit in there. So I sat and watched the whole thing.
It was actually really good. I mean, I liked how they did it because growing up, I really liked the special features on DVDs, and so this one you kind of really didn't need to go to it. They just added it. So
then because then there's a cut scene where instead of ninjas at first, they just had a bunch of thick, big-butted women.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh no!"
And then he was like, "Love is thicker than your behind."
Yeah, and
then the slap machine turns out that there was a little person was in the slap machine the whole time, and then they have a whole connection, and then they do a final interview together for the movie and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's the fucking movie.
He saved Papa.
Yeah, he saved Papa, and then he gets married to Jennifer.
Yes, I wonder if he's like level 2 apprentice now.
Well, he was like a full level. He got a medal and everything.
Oh.
Yeah, he got a medal and everything.
Impressive.
And then that's the Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
I'm really...
My takeaways are the way he says things
are very funny. Dana Carvey is a very funny person.
Well, just the mimicking, I got that.
Yes.
Because sometimes even when I'm talking to people, they'll say something and I'll repeat it. And then they're like, what? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Heard that?
It's clear that both of our childhoods were very this very much defined what our comedy was going to be like for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Take it for whatever.
Yeah.
But...
I'm more ashamed of this movie than Katie is.
Wait, what did you just say to me?
I'm more ashamed of the movie than you probably are.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. Like, once you start watching, you're like, this is problematic. But
it's not even like problematic. Most of it's just not funny.
It is funny though. But then it's like once I kept watching it, I just realized how much of an influence it had on me, and I didn't know before. And I was like, wow, okay, I got it. Like, this is a solid.
I'm for sure glad I rewatched it because I was really excited to rewatch this because of how much of a staple it was in my personal childhood too. But yeah, like it's just like I'm glad that I rewatched it, but I didn't. Like, we're just gonna do a review real quick, and then I'll go into that. So, would you give this a frick yes or a frick no?
Frick yes.
Frick no. I dislike this movie so much, and I'm so unhappy I had to watch it 2.5 more times.
Why?
It's just so not funny so many parts.
No. He is saying this when we just watched it, and he was laughing at so many parts. You were laughing out loud. LOL.
Yeah, well, I'm not happy about it.
Okay, yeah. What a liar. Your dad's a liar. How do you feel about that? He has no words for you.
I don't know. It's so hard to get through. So many, like...
It was easy for me.
Yeah, well, naturally, you fucking want to watch Penguins of Madagascar. Sorry.
That's a fucking banger,
I
bro.
I know. That was a cut that didn't need to be brought up because it is a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know because a lot of the movie does work. I will agree with that, but a lot of the movie that the shit that he really focuses on doesn't work. Like his Scarface impression was awful and very unfunny, and that was a lot of the movie. But then he had a funny Jaws thing, and that was really funny.
You can't win everything, okay?
You can, and that's why it's getting a frick no.
Oh my god, a frick yes for me.
No, I don't watch this movie, guys. I do not recommend you go out and watch this movie.
Frick yes for me, just because I realized how essential it was growing up in that sense. But also, I do have a story that will maybe make everybody not want to watch it. I was in college.
You were in college with friends.
And I had friends.
Hold on.
And... I'm never going to be able to tell this story. Oh, my God. Are you okay, Takey Take?
Okay, you were in college.
I was in college. I went to college. Went to college to get more knowledge. But you'll never use any of it.
You were in college?
Going to college to get more knowledge.
Yes.
But you'll never use any of it. That's what my great-grandma used to tell me all the time. 20 times because she had dementia.
Are we going somewhere?
She had dementia, so she'd repeat it. And so then I would tell the joke before she could say it, and she'd be like, oh, how'd you know? I'm like, it's just that smart.
Oh, my God. All right, so you were in college.
I was in college.
And you had friends.
We had movie nights, and I picked a movie. It was my turn to pick a movie, and I picked Master of Disguise. And after that, my friend Kevin, he looked at me, and he said, you're not allowed to pick any more movies. And so... That was year 1 of college.
Oh, my God. I don't think I knew that portion of the story. That was freshman year.
That was my first year of college. I was not allowed to pick any more movies.
But were they still your friends throughout college?
Yes.
All right. Well, you know.
Kevin, my guy. I miss Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Okay. What was Kevin's picks?
I don't remember. I
don't know. I mean, I
just remember this was traumatizing because I wasn't able to pick a movie ever again. But Kevin's pretty white guy, so good movies, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Not comedies. No, Kevin's my buddy. I miss him a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, shout him out.
Shout out Kevin. He's getting married soon.
Good for that dude.
Congrats. But we love Kevin. But anyways, yes, Kevin did not allow me to pick any more movies ever again. Rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, rightfully so. You just said this was a frick yes.
It's a frick yes. He still watched it, so fuck you.
Was it only you two too?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it was me, him, our friend.
What was the consensus of the group? Like, I know Kevin gave you the hard no, but did anyone else be like, I mean, I kind of liked it?
No. It's our friend Howie, and then I think my roommate.
Mindell?
No, Howard.
From the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah. No, my friend Howie, and then my roommate. So.
I love how you're like, no, a group of people also didn't like this. And so then when you look at me and I'm like, I also didn't like it, you're like...
Because I expected more from you, DJ.
You shouldn't have.
I know. You remind me every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you should be setting your standards higher than me.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say frick
like,
yes.
It's just like, I just didn't like a lot of the movie. A lot of the movie I did like, and a lot of the movie I didn't like. And ultimately, I'm upset that I watched this movie so many times.
Whatever. It shaped you.
But
it's
either
essential.
way, that's just our opinion. If you guys have different, then don't. But we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, hopefully.
If
life doesn't.
Yeah,
if life fucking stops for like 1 second.
Yeah. But either way, stay virtuous, my dudes, and remember, the movies won't get better, but we might maybe will.
We'll try.
We'll do our goddamn best. Yes. Anyway, our Chinese food is here.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Kevin.